In this topic, we're talking about fashion photography best practice. We actually follow photographers. Question, what are some best practices for fashion photography? We're going to be giving you a list in no particular order. This is not a fixed list, it's just some best practice that people have advised or people have given from personal experience, from maybe years of working in the industry. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The very first one is take your time to understand what the customer wants before you even begin the shoot. Sometimes you might get a photo shoot. It could be, for example, let's take for example, you're working with a fashion design student versus you're working with a seasoned designer or a professional designer. Those are two different contexts. So if you have 1 year who's a fashion designer student, obviously the scope and the project might be more artistic. Whereas on the other side, if you have a professional designer that's got a fashion house, that's got a proper function, running business, their expectation might be higher. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you understand what the client really wants. The next thing you want to do is use proper lighting and color grading. I can't tell you for a fact how much lighting impacts your photography. I remember in the early days, we were trying to learn about 3-point lighting, 2-point lighting, and 1-point lighting. Even the way this video is light, obviously I'm using a 2-point lighting system. I'm using the lights within the room we're filming in. Understand different lighting techniques, and in some situations you might only be left to just use one light. And from using big auto boxes, I've done that before, to using a small light, to using a two light system. Understand the different lighting system, the way you're going to learn this, rather than just taking time or taking years to understand it. I might put a diagram of different lighting system on the screen so you can get a feel of how to light models differently. Now, for context, when I wanted to learn about lighting, the only thing I just know was to put 2 softbox here, put another softbox here. But as I got into photography, as I got to learn more and I got an auto box, I had a photographer to guide me through the process, tell me the diagram. Now, if you want to go the extra mile, you can even ask the photographer as a friend to come on site and show you how to light and practice with, which is something I've done. The next on the list is try to stick as possible to the color gamut and avoid using filter. Especially this example where I remember I had this experience. Photographers send me their work. I think this was in the early days, and I applied a filter. I remember one of our creative directors said, "Don't use filter on professional photography work." Not because it compromises the quality of the work, and maybe it could be something that you could just, if you're working with models as well, you can say, I've done my best to edit the pictures to the best ability. I would appreciate if you don't apply filter to the work, because it will make the work look different. So just imagine you spent hours editing the pictures and then somebody added a tiny pinch of filter, and then now all of a sudden it looks different from the original picture that you know, and especially the way the gamut colors comes out as well. So that's the next step. And the next one, I'll say practice regularly to improve your confidence and technical competencies, your technical skills when it comes to photography. Like I said, practice to get better doesn't make perfect unless you're practicing to get better. Now, the fifth one I would say is focus on taking great photos instead of just taking pictures. Sometimes you just get photographers, they're just taking pictures, they go into the motion of just taking pictures. Focus on taking a great photograph. For example, when I used to work with models on set, what I used to do is, if I'm directing the shoots, and this is even before I started taking pictures, you might have a couple of poses you want to do. You might scatter a bunch of poses from different magazines, or maybe it's a photo shoot you want to recreate in your own style. Another tip I would say is you can either work with a location scout. This is my process, I first find a great location. First, you can do it 2 ways. You need to find a great location first, and maybe try driving through, walking around your neighborhood, and then find the concept, and then find the right model, and then go and do the shoot. If you do those in that order, somewhere along those lines, you would get the shoot you want. The next one is build a team of solid creative artists. So when you have an A team, A players, bring in more A players. When you have a solid A team, you have a great models, you have a great makeup artist, not on the front, but you have a great makeup artist when you need on speed dial, you have the great hairstylist, you might have a set designer, you might have a great a hairstylist, a designer, or a set assistant. When you build a team, build a solid great team, this is people that are going to help you with your photography and overall your aspiration to be a fashion photographer. Build a solid team. Those are the people that are going to help you get to it that you need to be. Also building personal relationship with editors as well. If your goal is to shoot for a particular magazine, or let's say building personal relationship with the editors as well would also go further along, because they'll be able to give you feedback. Another thing is, keep your energy fun and upbeat on set. Obviously, there's a time and place for everything. Read the room, obviously. If you're a fun person to be around, and I'll say keep it professional. Especially when you're working with models. If you're a male photographer, my tips is always ask if you're working with a female photographer, if you're trying to get in direction. Especially if they're younger models, maybe they're new models and they're still new. Always just know to ask if you want them to pose in a certain way. Just try to be professional, and before moving them in the direction you want them to move. You can even ask them, is it okay if you turn this way? If you need them to give you a different expression or a different look, you can say, okay, can you act a little bit hungry for me, act a bit scared? I need you to give me a really quirky look, or a really sexy look. So just be mindful, and set the context for them to feel comfortable. Obviously, the next tips is create a comfortable environment to work in. It could be from playing music. Maybe when I used to do organized photo shoots in my early days, when I was still young, if we had a photo shoot, I would order pizzas or bring food for the models. You really want to make the models feel comfortable. That's exactly what you need to do, and not the models, but the client. Make sure when you say, I have a photo shoot plan in so date, the people you're going to be working with are going to be so thrilled to work with you, that they're so thankful that, oh, I like this guy, his work is great. Obviously, that's all that matters. And the ninth thing is, if you're being paid for the work, if the client is paying you, please do make sure you compensate the rest of the team. It's only fair. Even if the new models, even if just paying for the transport or whatever, if the client is paying you for the work, please do not eat with 10 fingers, as they will say. Do not eat everything that comes. Do not be the only one that just eat everything by yourself. It wouldn't look good if the rest of the team found out you got paid for the work and you didn't compensate them, even if it's something small. Just because these are people that's going to help you in the long run. You want to build a personal relationship with them. You just don't want to see everything that's transactional. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make, especially in this industry, is everything is so transactional. No one wants to build personal relationship anymore, and it's like, what can I get from you? No, you need to flip it. How can I help you? And as a byproduct, you're going to build a relationship with people that are eventually going to say, oh, I need a photographer. Oh, I have a photographer friend that can do X, Y, Z. So the more personal relationship you build with people, and just be transparent with people. If they, be transparent. And number 10, I'd say, is be clear with your posing and instruction. I can give you an example, especially with male models. If you're working with male models, a lot of male models are just going to have the same pose, maybe hands in the pocket, they might look stiff.